What is the best way to destroy a business? You just go out and make your mission statement, and it'd be limp and powerless by leaving out a real purpose. Most companies focus on their mission statements saying things like, oh, customer care, or we're going to be preeminent at this or that. And it's a lot of like gobbledygook instead of getting clear on how you create a lasting impact through a compelling vision. Since so many small businesses fail in their first year, do you really want your mission statement to look like most other businesses? It's time for you to get clear on your real purpose. So a purpose-driven business will survive economic downturns. Part of this comes from resilience that comes from your purpose. When you feel compelled, when you're willing to deal with the minutia, when you're willing to get more resourceful because it matters to you at your core. Purpose is so powerful when you eliminate all these unnecessary factors. There's so many people that get caught up in the busy work, just putting in time and effort, but not any real direction because they're just trying to make a profit. They're just trying to put money in the bank account. They're just trying to make ends meet. And when there's difficulty, that can become overwhelming or just feel like, why is this even worth it? It's just a struggle. So when you start to focus on making the most impact, you'll actually make more money. When you get clear about the things that you're going to eliminate and you eliminate those distractions and embrace the things that are the best of who you are, which is the win then play way, by the way. It's when we take this cycle of creation where you begin with an idea and you more formalize that into a concept by sharing it and it becomes more concrete because it's documented. Then you can build a framework where you've inspired others because that vision matters. It's meaningful. It's not just some weak mission statement. So people want to be part of building that. And that framework is where the delegation happens. It's where the magic starts to happen because people bring their capabilities that you don't even have. And then you make sure to profit right up front before it even becomes a product, before it even becomes some type of service or experience. And then when you have that cash influx, then you can expand the vision and go with round two through that cycle of creation. How do you improve upon that idea? How do you take new concepts that add more value? What kind of frameworks allow other people to come in, and then you can deliver new services or deeper value within the service and then make, once again, more money. So you're funding it through the actual cash that's coming from the end user. So what are the results of a purpose-driven business versus one that isn't? Well, one that isn't, things get hard, the energy gets drained, and it's super hard to keep going. I know a lot of people that said, once I become wealthy, once I become financially independent, once I have enough cash, then I'm going to go do these other things. And then there's an economic downturn, or there's a mistake they make in their business, or they have something that happens where there's maybe like employee embezzlement, or something doesn't work on an initiative. And that becomes so deflating that they go, I'm giving up. I had someone that I knew for a long time that was in the mortgage business, not the best of what he did, not the thing that inspired him most, but he made money doing it. And then when he really found what he truly wanted to do, that allowed him to have purpose and power to really take men and help them embrace who they are, get past the misinformation, and have these four pillars, you saw exponential growth because it mattered, because it was the best expression of who he was. See, when we don't have purpose, we sacrifice what we want to do in the name of making money. And we sacrifice, that doesn't sound like power, that doesn't sound like energy, that doesn't sound inspiring, that isn't going to bring other people into your fold and have them go, I want to be part of this. This is something that matters. At Wealth Factory, it was all about how do we liberate 1 million people so they become financially independent. And when they're financially independent, they start to become so abundant that they've got spillover that they can start impacting other people's lives, and they can really start making an impact that matters to them and start to focus on living their legacy, enjoying life along the way, and doing things that matter. When there's no purpose, there's going to be a loss of happiness. There's going to be inevitable exhaustion. You'll have less to give. Like when my partners died in a plane crash, I forgot about my legacy. I wasn't living a life that I loved because I was just trying to keep things together. That's not inspiring. Just keep all the employees. They didn't know what they were doing, what their purpose was. It was just how do we pay the bills week to week? And you get in that survival mentality and you lose purpose, lose power, and ultimately you suffer with your profits. So purpose saves businesses. So how do small business owners like sole proprietors and maybe even 2 to 3 person LLCs find their purpose and even define their why? Here's 3 ways to discover your purpose. One is, Onyx Silver is brilliant at this. He has a book called Evolved Enterprise. And he says, how do you find your social mission? How do you find something that's beyond you that allows you to pay it forward for all the things that improved your life along the way? One of the most famous stories is Tom's shoes, right? buy a pair of shoes, give a pair of shoes away to someone that's in need or couldn't afford them. Or I use a company called Woodchuck that every time you buy a product from them, they plant a tree. They're close to a couple million trees that have now been planted from people buying their products. For me, my social mission is I went through 2 programs. Governor's Honors Academy as a teenager and Young Entrepreneur Search, which was the Rural Young Entrepreneur of the Year when I was like 16 years old. And so I take money, 1% of all revenues, and I pay it back into those, and I start to develop these young people that didn't see opportunity, that once it's unveiled to them, could be more productive, and they can become part of the million people that are financially independent. Even though it's not directly profitable to my business, it's profitable that I have more purpose, I have more meaning, I have more personal fulfillment, and that joy and that even potential acknowledgement of seeing someone grow allows me to be even more powerful during times where I'm dealing with difficulty or where there is that economic downturn. The second thing, it really comes down to building a legacy. It's the legacy that you live along the way through the example you have. It's building this life that you love where you're focused on quality of life. Not that you sacrifice and give everything to your business, but your business becomes a canvas that you can create in, and that profit is something you enjoy along the way, that you go do the things that you enjoy, whether it's travel, that you go do things like develop hobbies, you take some time off, and what everyone's reserving for retirement, you start to do those things as mini retreats today, next year, and the year after, so it's not just about one day, someday, you're investing in yourself, right? You're creating the space that you could be relaxed, rejuvenated, and have some recreation. And so your legacy becomes the example that you are. It becomes the life that you live, and it ultimately is a life that you love because it's not something that's gobbled up with making ends meet, right? There's real purpose there to you cultivating yourself as the greatest asset, which leads me to the third thing. You find out, what do you love most? What are your core values? What are your core competencies and those abilities that you have that bring the most value to the world? What drives you, and how can you continue to fuel that so that you have power in different times and seasons of your business, right? When you find out what you're very best at, that you actually derive energy from, then all of a sudden you have more to give, but it means you have to start delegating and bring other people along the way. A compelling purpose is attractive for people to come work with you, to be part of what you're creating. If your purpose is, I just want to, put money in the bank, who wants to come help you do that other than maybe your immediate family? What about reaching out to others where they're like, what do you mean? You're changing people's financial future, you're helping release them from financial bondage, and you're helping them to build a life that they love and create this legacy that lasts. I'm in for that, right? When that purpose sounds so compelling to them, where they're like, how are you gonna get to $1 million? I'm like, with other people that bring capabilities to this organization and to this vision beyond just what I can do on my own. So when you're only thinking about yourself, it's kind of selfish. When you take it to bigger and beyond what you're even capable of, it's abundant. It has excess that gives more to the world and to others. So the way that I kind of start to uncover my purpose and the things I continue to do to get deeper within that purpose is I begin with the morning ritual. A little bit of breathing exercises and meditation so I can be in a parasympathetic and calm state. That's just where I have a less stress and I can be more creative, right? Then I'm going and doing a little bit of exercise other than this morning because I was just too tired. I got up to do the exercise and instead I just hung out with my son and helped him work out. I put together a little exercise equipment and then I'm ready for tomorrow. And then the other thing is just overall, can you do to increase your education? So whether that's reading in a book or listening to a podcast or watching a YouTube video, what is it that nourishes you in the areas you want to be enriched? The next thing is who you spend your time with. Mentors that can ask you questions that you don't even know how to ask yourself. People that can see the best in you and help pull that out from you so that you can have that recognition. Because purpose isn't just an intellectual thing. It's more of a metaphysical thing, as my friend Demi says. And as we start to really understand who we are at the core, we start to see what we're more capable of. And that purpose pulls us forward and helps expand what we can accomplish. It might be even attend, workshops in order to gain more purpose, to learn from others, to actually immerse yourself in just focused on this, away from technology and distractions and even outside of your business, or maybe it's even within members of your family, people that see the best in who you are and what you're capable of that you might discount on your own, that you might not consider, but you're like, oh yeah, I guess I am pretty good at that. I feel like a lot of times we discount the things we're best at because we think everyone else can do it. But the reality is There's things that we're capable of and that we can do that other people can't even fathom. That's the power of your soul purpose, S-O-U-L. It's that we all have this unique combination of our values, of our abilities, of our passions, and when it's a context in the highest purpose that pulls that out of us, that pulls it forward when we're aligned and congruent, we have different levels of energy, different levels of excitement. And if we continue to grow that purpose and then we add more fuel to it, then money will follow if we're clear about the business principles and how to monetize that. So we're not just giving it all away for free, that we're having that money come in so that we can fuel it even bigger. So we can hire those people to support us in areas that we're not best at. We can let go of some of those things that drain our energy or that we don't feel excited about. So we can spend more time in the things that only you can do or that you do very best, so that once again, it's about impacting more people or more deeply impacting the people that you already serve. A little intense on this one, right? Because there's purpose. I want to make sure that you uncover and discover this. So you want to have your purpose be equal parts. Like there could be like a little anxiety or fear or even apprehension because you don't know how to accomplish it. A goal is something you know how to accomplish. A vision is beyond your grasp right now. But we also want to make sure that it inspires you and it adds passion so that you're fueled to do this on a day-to-day basis, even when things don't go exactly according to plan. Those are part of the ingredients of lessons. Because if it's so big, it may pull you forward. It may help you find ways to stretch yourself in order to reach that, to bring other people along and create opportunity for them because they want to be part of something bigger than themselves. So now you have the knowledge where you can really transform your thoughts into profits and you can build the life you love. See, if you're looking for more on this topic, check out my 4-part video series on discovering and uncovering your soul purpose.